And we are live. What is up, everybody? Aaron the Dog back with breakdown number one of the week. We've got an LFA coming probably later today, maybe tomorrow. I've got it pretty much all taped up, but we are here for the UFC on ABC 5 card, UFC Fight Night card, the Apex in Jacksonville, Florida. And with me is, as always, just my 2 cents. How you doing, Mon Frere?
I am doing well, my friend. I am feeling about as honored as a Gentile can feel. Very happy to be on the panel today. Thank you, as always, for having me. Excited to be on stream for the first time with the Jewish Bettor. And yeah, man, shout out to the chat. Excited to break down these fights for what is looking like a really fucking greasy card. So it should be fun.
Greasy means whatever you want it to mean. But debut and on the channel here, my good friend, one of my few good Jewish friends in the community, because there's a few in this community who maybe aren't as much of a fan. Just kidding. Just kidding. The Jewish Bettor. I'm a little bit ready to talk these fights, but how you doing, my friend?
I appreciate that, man. Goddamn Jews out there giving us a bad name. You know, speaking of greasy, man, I just had some potato latkes. Greasy as could be. I loved it.
Applesauce or sour cream?
Gotta go with the applesauce. I like the sour cream as well, man.
Yeah,
Bring it all.
I mix them together, exactly. But yeah, get you some latkes, as they're called up in my woods. But looking good. We got the Jewish beards in full effect today. I'm getting shit on though, if I say so myself. Doesn't happen too often on these streams. But yeah, just my 2 cents. Jewish Bettor. We're here for 14 fights here. Appreciate you making the time, man. I really respect your views and your bets when you put them out there. I know that they're sometimes selective, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. We care about where our money goes. Zach Johnson making an appearance on the channel in the chat. Good to see Zach make it. The Jewish Bettor is the man. Yeah, I'll agree with Zach for once on something. So, dear there. Well, hi, the Jewish Bettor bringing things together. 14 fights. I'm not going to waste any time. Let's get started on them. We're starting with a guy who I have talked to before, not on this channel, however, back when I worked with Fight Bananas, but it's SD Dumas, who definitely had a debut for the ages against Josh Fremd. Pretty sure everybody on MMA Twitter was on SD Dumas, myself included in that. So I really expected a lot more out of him in his debut than what came. Overall, I think that this is a pretty interesting matchup. SD, significant advantage in terms of reach, significant advantage in terms of striking. The grappling goes to Cody Brundage, obviously. Is Cody Brundage shown to be reliable with regards to his fight IQ, with regards to his tendency not to spaz out and get into kind of wars? Not really. I mean, this is one for me where I got SD Dumas yesterday at plus 175. Numbers come down to plus 150 now. I understand him being an underdog, but SD has been in a full camp for this. I do believe that UFC jitters are a thing at times. I'm not going to fully clout that up to this, but I have been watching SD since his amateur career, watched his full pro career. I have believed that he has some legit talent with regards to his striking, and his grappling is the work in progress for sure. But here for me, I think Cody Brundage has a clear route. It is the wrestling. I would not lay juice on him, and I am going with SD Dumas. I think he is going to use the reach in this fight, and I do think that the knockout is how he's going to win this fight. I think either way you go, it's pretty clear cut. Cody Brundage, I think, needs to just go to grappling and wrestling. I don't think he's shown he'll do that consistently for a full fight, and got quite a reach to get over. And I'm not a big Brundage guy. So I got SD here. I got him by knockout. I think it's going to come in probably round 2. I think round 1, he's going to be very aware of the takedowns. We'll see if he has any takedown defense. Maybe the first shot in by Brundage, it's just, we'll know within 30 seconds, I think. But I got SD here. I'm staying loyal. I got him at plus 175 yesterday. And I'm fine to bet SD Dumas after one bad performance. We've seen plenty of debut bad performances. JSP against Joe Lozon was another. But just my 2 cents. What's your thoughts on this fight? I love that this is kicking off the card.
I was going to say, dude, this is so appropriate for a greasy card like this. And I mean that in a good way, too. It's just, this is a really tricky one, and it is kind of bipolar. Like, you kind of laid it out. Brundage is the better wrestler, but I feel like I'm almost kind of like knee-jerk reaction, like I don't want to fade Dumas too much after one bad performance, like you said, the jitters. I'm just staying away. This is going to be, it's kind of a dumpster fire fight, and I just kind of want to see it unfold for entertainment. From a betting standpoint, it seems like Dumas or Pass, or Dumas, however you pronounce his name. It's the fight IQ from Brundage. I don't like the idea of betting him at that line. So yeah, I'm gonna stay away. But for the pick, dude, I'm starting to kind of feel SD a little bit. I may pick him, but I'm definitely not gonna bet it. I'm just passing.
Jewish Bettor, what's your thoughts on this? What's your thoughts on the lightning rod of controversy, SD Dumas?
Yeah, no, I like your bet at plus 175, but I think that's about where the value ends. And you saw the line come back just a little bit, people getting in on that number. Now you're getting, I believe, plus 155 on it. And you could have took Brundage earlier in the week for minus 120 or whatever it was. So I agree. Like you said, it's either kind of, I feel like it's either kind of Dumas or Pass at this point, but you might have missed that value. If Dumas jumps up back to that 175 range, I'll probably put a little shekels on it, but I'm not too interested in really betting this fight. Like, both guys have downsides. Like, yeah, I'm not too like just 2 cents said. I'm not like trying to pull the trigger fading Dumas. And honestly, I wasn't even on him in the last fight. I look at everybody on one side, it sketches me out immediately, and that's one of the number one things. I also try to just look at the fights for what they are. And like you said, Brundage, he's a wrestler. He's going to try and get this fight to the ground. I don't think he's going to be able to stand with Dumas other than like an overhand right. We did see Fremd was able to hurt Dumas a few times on the feet as well in his fight. I don't know what I'm really getting with Dumas. I didn't know what I was getting last time since he really had no level of competition. He is still young. He is still talented, and he's the hometown fighter here. I believe the younger guy. And I know a lot of people are going to say Josh Fremd trains with Cody Brundage. Got to take the Brundage side. Brundage probably get it done, but not 100% sold on that. I do think Dumas could be a live dog here, but I'm with my dude, just 2 cents. I'm going to pass on this fight completely. Maybe look at a total, but it's a kind of volatile matchup. If I had to pick a side, in the words of my dude, Brandon Olivas, Santino DeFranco, never bet a white. You can't bet a white. So got to go with Cedric Dumas here.
And we do pick sides on the show, so don't worry. It's not an official record, but yeah, we do pick. We do pick a side on.
Got to pick a side. Got to pick a side.
Yeah, exactly. We got Lou Betcha over that very quickly early when he was like, I'm like, no, we pick sides. So yeah, fair enough, Reed. The over 1.5 at plus 140, I think is kind of interesting here as well, especially if you're on the Brundage side. I don't see him just getting him down and finishing it right away. Like, so I'm kind of interested. If I was on the Brundage side, I would think about that perhaps, but either way, yeah, it's volatile, it's unknown. I bet with my heart at times it will pay off, at times it will not, at times. Seeing everybody on SD last time really sucked though, because yeah, that was just rough to see, because I was on him initially before even looking at it. So it's pretty much the opposite.
It wasn't a terrible bet until everybody that
yeah, it's hindsight is
2020. Yep,
exactly, man. So
us Jews think alike.
Absolutely, muzzle. Next fight here. I mean, the first two fight, I love it because I'm an SD fan. I'm not going to hide from it. I won't hide from, obviously, this is a Jillian Robertson channel exclusively. I'm going to pick her in any fight unless it's against a very highly touted opponent. She's a friend of mine and a very good fighter. But I always will tell you when my biases approach. I'm not friends with Topueira. I'm not friends with Clayton Rodriguez. So here's an unbiased. I have not interviewed either one of them. Here we go, straight from the source here. And it's a really close fight, isn't it? Topueira may be the future of the flyweight division, 23-year-old Japanese fighter, showing he pretty much got all the goods here. And Clayton Rodriguez came into the UFC. I was pretty excited about him coming in, but on the Contenders series showed a little bit of showed a little bit of possible fraudulence by struggling with Santo Curatalo. Definitely a fighter who he should have been able to put away, showed some issues. Then it was the CJ Vergara fight, just not pulling the trigger the way he should be, and it's kind of concerning. And then he goes to the opposite end of the spectrum with a Shannon Ross, who Shannon Ross has no striking defense. Every strike he's seen at UFC competition, he's pretty much taken. Clayton did exactly what he was supposed to in that spot, though. And I really do think that Clayton is getting shortchanged in this spot against Topueira. Topueira is very, very skilled. We know where he wants to take the fight, but Clayton is I think, the more explosive, quicker guy. He can definitely, I think, catch a guy like Topueira, and we haven't really seen what Topueira's adversity has looked like. So I wish I would have gotten in on it earlier. The price it's at, there are just spots against Aguilar even where you saw some potential, chinks in the armor for me. And I'm just going with my gut here. I'm leaving this fight alone at this point. I really am, but I like the Clayton side for people who got in on it. I respect the bet. I can't pull it here, but I do think Clayton could catch him. I think he could finish him. I'm going with Topueira. I would love to see the submission. I think it's going to be decision, but Clayton, I got a weird feeling about Clayton in this spot. I like that he's had the losses at the UFC level and kind of, I think, been able to learn from that. I think if he increases the volume and pressure on Topueira, he could put Topueira on his back foot and maybe have Topueira in some spots he hasn't been in 23. Seen it before with really highly acclaimed, young grapplers too. Once they get pushed into that realm, they're not as comfortable in, and Clayton has the tools to do so. Train at Team Nogueira. I got a feeling Clayton. I'm still going to go with Topueira by decision because I'm a coward. But Jewish Bettor, what's your thought?
Yeah, I understand what your read is on that. And honestly, dude, it's because we're betting numbers here. And that's what everybody has to understand. And that's what we all understand, right?
Yeah.
Is, if you, like you said, you got in Clayton earlier, he was plus 280. That's a good number to get in on him because he does have potential to win on this fight. But I got to be just come back to reality, especially now that the line's back at plus 200. Topueira is talented, man. And I watched the fight with Clayton Rodriguez and CJ Vergara. Vergara was able to get him to the ground. And I think Topueira is a lot better down there. And he's only 23 years old. So even though we haven't seen him in adversity, he is getting better and better. And Clayton's not some world beater. He does have power, and Topueira's got to watch out. But Topueira is clean on the feet, man. His defense is always there. Brings the hands back to his face. Very clean, crisp striking, and he mixes it with the grappling well. I think the longer this fight goes, the more tired actually Clayton will get because we have seen him. He likes to throw power. He will slow down as the fight goes on.
I agree. He's got to get on him early. I agree.
Exactly, my man. And I think the more power strikes that he throws and misses, the thing in MMA that makes you the most tired is missing those shots because they don't train it. They don't train to miss. So I think at the end of the day, give me Topueira. Topueira, I think I say he might get him out of there. I'm going to go with submission. Topueira by submission. I know that could seem like a square play, but I think at the end of the week it's going to look smart, and I think he gets the job done, even though there's the sharp money coming in on Clayton. But I think that's just a number thing.
I think the sub on Clayton would definitely be a huge statement. So he's looked great so far. I mean, aside from a few moments in that Aguilar fight, which fighting Jesus Aguilar, you're gonna have some weird moments. He's just a very strange fighter to fight till you beat him. But 2 cents. Are you on Topueira here, or are you feeling the Clayton side?
No, I'm on Topueira, and I'm going to piggyback off what JB said about the square play because I did make a very square play on Topueira, and it kind of just reflects me being a little bit of a greenhorn still as a bettor. I fucking parlayed him at minus 275, and I'm not telling
that's
you.
Okay, my man. That's okay.
I tell anybody to do that. There's
you're not going to get Topueira at minus 275 in a lot of flyweight fights, especially unranked flyweight fights, and you're still getting Topueira.
I was going to say I saw Topueira at minus under less than or better
odds
than
245 right now.
200. I took it.
Minus 245 right now. You already know he's in the Zhang Li.
Oh yeah, dude. I should have waited, but I still think he's the side. And like JB said, I think his strike. He's only 23. His striking is getting a little bit better. He's tough. I've seen him get crack clean. He eats it pretty well. Although I do think Aaron kind of alluded to, like Clayton is a little bit more dangerous of a striker than like Vergara, I think, but I still think Tyra is the side. And I do tend to I'm still deciding on my Tapology pick, but I'm leaning towards sub. I think he does get him out of there.
Fair enough. Yeah, the under is under 2.5 is at -145, which I don't think might be bad because then that covers that Clayton blitz. Which again, I think the Clayton blitz is not just from the Shannon Ross fight either. Don't get me wrong. Again, but I just like when fighters do what they're supposed to against bad competition sometimes. But then there was the Vergara fight where he's getting taken down. I 100% agree. Tyra is much more skilled on the ground. So good 2 fights to start out. Next fight, this is I think a fight that I don't know. I think we're going to kind of find out the levels, the old levels of Australian MMA. I hate to say it here. Jack Jenkins taking on Jamal Emmers. Jack Jenkins really good leg kicks. Pretty well-rounded overall. On an 8-fight win streak, and came on to the Contender Series, faced a pretty untested guy in Linares, got him out of there at the end of the third against Don Shannis. Don is a very, very tough guy, took a lot of brutal leg kicks in that fight. So I'll give him credit in that one. But overall, it's the level of competition I'm worried about with Jack. He just has not really shown it yet. Jamal Emmers is by far and away the highest level of competition. I think he's going to struggle with the wrestling of Jamal Emmers in this one. I think that Jamal is just going to kind of grind it out and get Jack out of there. Most likely, maybe he wears him on, gets the finish, but I really see this more as a decision for Jamal Emmers. I think that the leg kicks for Jack are definitely in order, and maybe Australian MMA is on the rise right now again. With Ursig a couple weeks ago, because we know Zach won't forget about it. But for me, I'm kind of just going square with this one. Jamal Emmers wrestles him, stays out of the kicking range, which is the one range where Jack Jenkins I think has a huge advantage in this fight. I think Jamal wears him down, maybe puts him away with some ground and pound along the way, but probably a wrestling decision for me. I'd see a lot of grappling in these first couple fights. Hopefully not the first fight. Jewish Bettor.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go to him.
Yeah, I always get it confused. Just my 2 cents. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, man. Dude, I was really fucking tempted to bet Jack Jenkins. I think he does get a little I think he's a little bit better than people give him credit for. For some reason, people are just really more down on him than I think they should be. But the more I taped it, I'm on the Emmers side as well. I'm not playing it. I have no action, but I think Emmers is going to have a little bit of a speed advantage, even though he's the older fighter. Jenkins likes to go to the body a lot. I think that's going to get him hurt in this fight, dude. I think Emmers is a little bit quicker. His punches are a little bit straighter. Jack throws in combos, which I normally like. He ends them on really hard leg kicks. I think the leg kicks could potentially be a problem for Emmers, but like you said, the experience level. And I don't know, man. I just think Emmers.
Look at that Emmers decision price,
dude. I just don't like the line.
That's bad.
I'm really tempted to bet Jenkins. It's just such a tasty line, but I'm just gonna stay away and pick Emmers. But it's not something I have a ton of confidence with. I like Jack Jenkins. I would like to see him get an upset here, but I think it might be a little too much experience on the Emmers side. We'll see.
All right, Bettor of the Jewish variety.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I like. I kind of am looking to see if Jack Jenkins gets up to a +200 dog, because I think Jamal Emmers, man, he's not a good guy that I want to bet on as a favorite. He's more of a guy I want to bet on as an underdog. And he was an underdog in his last fight. A lot of people were on the Hussein Askabov side, and I think that had something to do with it. People just a little bit overestimating Hussein Askabov more than anything. Yeah. Jenkins is a legitimate prospect, man. He likes to throw that leg kick. We know that. We've seen him hurt guys multiple times with it. And I could see this fight being a lot closer than people think it will be. I'm going to just go out on a limb here and choose Jack Jenkins. There's no vote of confidence, but I'm waiting to see if I could get this guy up at a +200 price tag, which is quite possible. I could see Jamal Emmers in a parlays at the end of the week sitting at -250.
Yeah, he's getting tossed onto a lot of parlays, I think.
Exactly. So if he gets steamed up to that point, even like plus 190, plus 195, I think I'm going to take a shot on Jenkins to mix in the wrestling, throw in the low calves. I know
Yeah.
Emmers is a pretty striker, but he'll be the type of guy to knock Pat Sabatini down and then sit there and leave his leg out there to get
Yeah.
inside yellow. So
He is that.
this guy will give it up as a favorite 9 times out of 10. I'll be going with Jenkins on this one.
That's there's a few the three the 3 or 4 fights we've talked about here. You don't want to trust Cody Brundage as a favorite. You don't want to trust Jamal Emmers as a favorite. Do you not want to trust Tatsu Taira as a favorite? Like, of course you're fine with that. Like, he clearly is of the 3 favorites to start out, I think, on this card. I think Taira is definitely the one that I'm signing with here of those first 3 favorites. I could definitely see a couple dogs early. But fair enough there. By the way, currently the line is Jamal Emmers minus 210 plus 180 on Jenkins. So I think those parlay bets
just give me a little more.
Yeah, just wait a little longer. I like
not rushing to bet it.
Yeah, no, exactly. There's no prize for getting there first. There really isn't, So,
dude, I'm gonna kick myself if Jenkins pulls it off too, because it's so tempting, man. I do think it's kind of Jenkins or pass, but
Mr. Pat, what up? The world's strongest capper. How you doing, sir?
What up, Patrick?
You, Pat, one of the good ones. All right, next fight here. This is just a freaky fight for me. I never thought I'd see Chepe in the UFC. I'd be honest. I thought he was going to keep kind of screwing it up at that like LFA level right before he got there. And then Trevor Peek. I'll tell you right now, I have not picked Trevor Peek once. I've been wrong 3 times now, including the Contenders series. I don't know, man. I don't know what to really think about Trevor Peek. Dude is tough. He throws hammers, and I'm telling you, Machine Gun Chepe, he likes to get in the wars and get hit with hammers, especially early. Go watch that Brito fight. My goodness, that is a violent. And Chepe has a clear advantage in this fight for me, is that he's the way better MMA fighter. He just needs to add the elements together here and survive like 3 minutes of a trailer park like tornado that is Trevor Peek. Every time I've been off him, I've been wrong. Every time I've been on him, I've been wrong, because I'm picking Trevor Peek here to get the knockout. I think he's going to get the knockout inside the first round. I think he's going to crowd and overwhelm Chepe. I think Chepe is shown he's very willing to go down with the cause. He showed it against Brito, showed it against Garcia, and then lost to Sean Soriano. I mean, in 2020, that is not things I'm relying on here, man. Short notice. I think Trevor Peek is getting more comfortable inside the octagon with each fight. And maybe he's working on his overall game. I doubt it. But, I think he's going to catch Chepe's chin. I think he puts him away. And they're tempting me at this pick'em line here to just take a shot at Mr. Peek. And I'm doing inside the distance first round KO for Trevor. Jewish Bettor, what's your thoughts on Trevor Peek? What's your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, I think that's how he probably gets it done inside the distance. I don't know with the line. You're probably not going to get a great line, though. No. And, it's somewhat possible he gets it done in round 2 as well. It's, not likely, but it's possible he gets him out of there in round 2. We've seen it in I believe it was his Contender Series fight. If I'm not mistaken, he was getting the piss beat out of him, right?
Yep.
Did he get the knockout late in round 1, or was it in round 2?
That was round 2. Yeah, round 2 against Malik Lewis, which I had Malik. I was feeling great in. That.
I know.
It was late in round 2. Trevor Peek doesn't stop, man.
He fucking sucks, though. Part of my language. Can I curse? I'm good to curse.
Of course.
Oh yeah, he's awful. He is god awful. But if I'm gonna wait and see if I can get a little bit of underdog price on here. I think if you got in on Chepe early, right, a lot of money came in on him, but he was the underdog. I think that's good money. But if you're starting to get Peek now, an underdog price, Peek, man, he's not good, but this is a good matchup for him, and I think the UFC knows what they're doing. They know who they're lining him up with. That's why they're giving him Chepe Mariscal, a guy who likes to get hit in his fights. And if you let Trevor Peek hit you, there's one thing he does do, and he does crack. And we got to give him that. He's gotten 2 knockouts so far. The fade's gonna come, guys, but I don't think it's this one.
Trevor's gonna be, I think, a lot bigger than his opponent as well.
Yeah.
Here, I'm just going
I
to
don't
remove.
think Chepe's bad, man, but his chin is a little bit suspect, and I think if he gets cracked, it could be night for him. So we'll see here. I'm going with Trevor Peak, but give me him at plus 120 or better. I'm going to wait and see.
Yeah,
Even maybe plus 125 because he is awful, but
there's
give me that.
There's no way I'll bet Trevor Peak with a minus in front of him. Like
Exactly. Did we lose our guy here?
Yeah, I don't know where 2 cents went. I think he's coming back here in a second.
Okay. Good.
2 cents,
Okay.
you there?
There you go.
I don't know. I don't think he's there.
Shit. I didn't even notice that he left. I just heard you guys say it, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. No, you're good. What's your thoughts on Mr. Peak, probably your neighbor?
Oh my God, dude. I mean, this is a Bobo fight. Trevor Peak is your favorite beau's favorite beau. This is going to be an Alabama trailer park gravel scratching. Dude, I really want to pick Trevor Peak. And I do think the time to fade him is going to come. I think he wins. I'm going to pick Peak. I want to bet him really bad. I'm a little too pussy. I'm not going to do it. He's too willing to just get in that kind of fucking fight. But I think that he'll win this one because I think he's more durable than Mariscal. And
definitely.
He and dude, like JB said, I don't know, man. He's gonna fight the kind of fight that I'm more confident in him winning. Like if it's gonna be this kind of fucking rock'em sock'em robots, I trust the guy that's a little bit more durable. And like you said, Aaron might be improving a little bit. So yeah,
Yep.
give me Peak.
Yep, give me Peak. Give me him at plus money, and you'll get some of my money. Minus 105 now on Chepe. The under in this fight is at minus 165, which I don't exactly understand.
Can I say that what's up with this line though? Because I feel like as much as they're pushing Peak, I see him all over social media, and like as much as people talked about that Ghost Pepper fight, I'm surprised that it's still like a pick'em like this. Is it just? I don't know. It's weird.
I was also a little bit surprised, but I mean, Chepe, yeah, he's not bad. Like it should be. He is the better MMA fighter. I just think Peak is going to get him to fight his fight. Back up to 125 here with Zhalgas Zhumagulov, who's had like 5 fights scheduled or 3 fights scheduled in the last month or so, taking on Joshua Van, the Myanmar product, I believe. Pretty young, 21 or something. Yeah, 21 years old. Went back and watched a lot of his tape. I remember him from CFFC as well. Good fighter. Does get taken down at times in his fights. He's out 4-ounce fight club, so definitely known for the hands. 5 knockouts, 2 subs on his record. Never gone to a decision. His loss came to a pretty big guy back with Fury, where Devin Jackson just kept getting him down, wore him out, choked him out. He was 20 years old in the fight. He's been very, very active. His fight with Paris Moran, very good. The Cleveland McLean fight, showing that he's starting to really put the game together as well. I think he's getting better and better with each fight. Zhalgas Zhumagulov, to me, he's better in cage pressure, I think, in this fight. Wrestling, I guess, but I don't think he's really going to use it. I think this is going to be a really close fight on the feet. I could see it being a split candidate for sure. It is Zhalgas Zhumagulov, but for me, I think Zhalgas is going to be able to be the one putting the pressure on. At times, Joshua Van does back himself up and get himself to the cage, where I think is where Zhalgas has the biggest advantage. So for me, I think Joshua's got to use movement that I haven't really seen in a lot of his fights yet. I think he really likes to kind of get into brawls often. So I don't know. I think Joshua has a chance to get better. I think he's getting rushed a little bit here. I just think Zhalgas is going to be able to edge this one out, but I'm not interested in betting Zhalgas Zhumagulov at all. And for me, I think Van does have the finishing upside of these two guys. So I got Zhalgas by decision, but I think it could be very close. Jewish Bettor.
Man, I like this guy, Josh Van, dude. I like him a lot. And he's only 21 years old. That's what we got to remember here. Guy's still a young cat. Coming out of 4-ounce fight club, same gym as Daniel Pineda. Good boxing, good striking. I think this is a clear matchup in the fact that Joshua Van has the better striking, and Zaga Sumagulov, I think, has the advantage in the wrestling. That's the only real problem I have with Josh Van is he's a little bit too reliant on jiu-jitsu sometimes, won't get up off the back, likes to throw the submissions. And I think that's where Zagas has to take this fight. He's going to have to take this fight to the ground because if not, I think Van is, live. He's coming off 5 wins as well. I know Zagas, he has some fights that are controversial, right? His win-loss record could be a lot different there. So what we're seeing on the screen, those 5 greens and those 4 reds and 1 green, doesn't tell the whole story, right? I take the experience advantage of Zaga Zumagulov here. He's been in the UFC octagon before. I believe Van had to come probably from Houston to Vegas. He was supposed to fight last week, then back to Florida now. That can't help the weight cut. And I think Zagas is just a little bit more physical. I'm going to go with Zaga Zumagulov here, but I think Josh Van has a bright future in the UFC, and I think he is a live underdog here. If you're giving me Van at plus 200 or better, tempting shot.
Yep, I agree pretty much with that take. 2 cents, what's your thoughts on this one?
Ditto to everything you two bro just said about everything. The liveness of Van, like Jewish Bettor said, I think he's got the striking advantage, but Zagas does have the experience advantage.
He's good, man.
Yeah, even if you think Zagas wins, why sweat this? Van is gonna crack him a couple times on the feet. I think Zagas is pretty tough. I don't think he's gonna get sparked out, but I think it's more of a sweat than I would want. Even my dumbass, I'm not parlaying Zagas. I'm gonna pick him, but no, thank you. I'll lose my money elsewhere.
I'll say one last thing too. Fury FC is a good organization when it comes to not UFC regional, not Bellator stuff like that. The little regional scene, I think Fury FC is probably one of the best, if not, some of the better competition.
Fury and LFA I cover on the channel for a reason. Fury is great. Yeah. And I said CFFC earlier. Cross up in my head all the Fs and shit. Yeah, it was Fury I meant when I said CFFC about Joshua Van. I'm excited. I really agree. This is a no-risk fight essentially for Joshua Van, except he's in a fight. But he loses here. It's not the end of the world. He wins, and all of a sudden at 21-22, he's facing the big boys in the division early, even though Zagas is on the losing streak he's on. But I still think a win over Zagas really strangely holds a lot of weight. And
I'll say this right now. In the future, I see that dude as a contender.
I like it. Yeah, I don't hate it. Him and Royval battling it out one day. I would love to see it. I'm a Royval guy. I love Brandon Royval, and he should be the #1 contender right now. But speaking of grapplers, which no one was really speaking of, but Royval's a grappler. Tabitha Ricci, Jillian Robertson. This is the fight of Twitter for the week, it seems like. And that is, for whatever reasons, but 2 good grapplers who aren't very good on the feet, I'll be honest. I think that neither one is great. I'd say Tabitha has a slight edge on the feet, though. And Jillian has a physical advantage coming down from 125 to finally be at her weight class. I know everybody knows that I'm going with Jillian, so I won't waste a lot of time explaining why, other than I do like her team at the Goat Shed now. I like that she has a team that is dedicated to her. When she was training with Dean Thomas in his garage, that was a bit of a concern for me. I think it started to show in her fights as well, particularly like the JJ Aldridge fight. This fight, she's against a fellow grappler that I think she showed in her last fight against Pereira that at 115, I think she's got some significant advantages to be able to get the fight to where she wants it, which is her on top. I do think that she is the better grappler. I know Tabitha Ricci is also a black belt. I think Jillian is the better MMA grappler and applying her black belt to the trade as well. I think she's going to be heavy on top. I could see a decision for Jillian, but I think she's going to end up submitting her. I really do. I think she submitted Pereira pretty effortlessly in that fight. That was her teammate. I know that from my sources, Pereira was getting the better of Tabitha pretty routinely in sparring, and so I'm very interested to see how the camp reacts to preparing for Jillian 2 fights in a row, because you know what she's going to come out and do. She's going to come out, try to grab you, trip you down, and weigh on you. She has one of the best best top percentages in UFC history. She's very good when she gets to fight to where she needs to. I don't see how Tabitha keeps her from getting it there. I think she's going to dominate Tabitha. I think this line's absolutely off. When I make my initial picks, not look at the lines and make my own lines. I did have Jillian at about minus 150. I don't understand how she's underdog. I think she can dominate this fight, and I think she will. I think she gets a sub. So plus 110 Jillian, I already covered. I'm going to cover the inside distance too, because I could see her landing some ground and pound as well. I think 115 is definitely her weight class. I'm not going to hide it. She's a good friend of mine, and I picked against her in plenty of spots where I thought she was outmatched. She's not outmatched here against Tabitha Ricci. So I think she's going to dominate and put her away. So looking forward to cashing that plus money on Jillian for like the 6th time. I think I've done that. It's very routine. So 2 cents. Go to you first.
God.
Dog barking. Chico knows. Did you hear the dog barking? He knows.
Waffle.
The dog is barking. Go ahead and
Waffle.
Just because I got Christian Leroy Duncan wrong, you're going to go ahead and start waffling on all my picks.
No,
Fine,
I'm a waffle.
Fool. You're so right. 2 cents. Go ahead.
I'm a waffle. No, I'm a waffle. Don't get me wrong now. I'm the one waffling here because, and this was the worst. As much as I love Aaron the dog, this was the worst spot for me to be in to talk about this fight because I'm so fucking on the fence and like Aaron's love for Jillian, like I can just feel it.
Bro,
like,
just go
like
against him, dog.
I can feel it just like tractor beaming it over to
I want to make that clear. I'm no fucking Clint. I don't get blocked by my simp.
Oh, I know, dude. That's why I'm getting.
I actually think she's good. I picked against her before.
Dude,
literally
this is why.
Anyways,
dude, this is why I'm getting tractor beamed up. This is why I'm getting tractor beamed over because I know that when you say something about Jillian, I know you believe it, and so that's why I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, yes, she has a big gold experience advantage. Like, it's almost in a different galaxy. I do think Ricci is talented. I don't my little baby nuts on this fight are not going to let me bet Jillian, but it seems like a Jillian or pass situation. I might just pick Jillian. I'm going pretty favorite heavy as far as like my picks on this card, but I do think it's a pretty close fight. It's the grappling is obviously going to come down to that, I think, because I think that Jillian, like you said, she'll know, okay, I might not be quite as good on the feet, but she is really dangerous. Like, I think Jillian is more live to get a submission because she goes for that. Like, she is looking to get into a good position and then start attacking. And I think you might have just fucking convinced me, Aaron the dog. I think I might.
You have to pick Tabitha by standard.
No, I think I just fell over. I think I was on the fence and I just fell over on the Jillian side.
All right, that's fine. I'll still have you back, Jewish Bettor. Go ahead and tell me why you think Tabitha's winning.
I don't, but let's just play a little bit of devil's advocate here. I think if you think Tabitha Ricci is going to win, what you see here is you think that she has the better striking. Jillian Robertson, the one knock on her that we could all agree on is her wrestling isn't the best. So to get the fight to the ground necessarily isn't the easiest job unless she just pulls guard, right? And that's a different story. And she's done that before.
I think we don't have completely her wrestling at 115. It seemed to come easier at 115 for her.
And she's still young. She's getting better. I think the UFC wants her to win this fight, honestly. And I'll tell you why. Pink hair, just a little bit out there. She's the female leader in submissions, correct? That's a story in and of its own.
Yeah,
exactly. And Charles Oliveira, another guy, submission leader. UFC likes to back people like that. They're finishers, especially at the women's division. You're not seeing knockout artists like Amanda Nunes, who even still goes to decisions sometimes. Jillian Robertson's exciting. She's a finisher. And Tabitha Ricci, I think, isn't going to be able to sit on top in this fight. She's going to have to worry about the jiu-jitsu of Jillian Robertson. I don't think she wants to be down there at all. So she's going to have to sprawl and brawl, know her game plan here. And I just don't know if I trust her to avoid all the traps. But I think her jiu-jitsu is legitimate. I'm going to stay away from this fight. I could see a finish on either side. I'm going to go with, because I have to pick, I'm going to go with Jillian Robertson for the reasons I said. Like I said, I think the UFC has a story with her there. And again, plus money. I'm going to go with you guys on this one, and I'll agree.
And that's perfectly fine. And there may be a point where I'd have to pick against Jillian, and like I will pick against her. But when spots where I feel that she's the edge, yes, I do go to the mountaintop with my tablets and I start to vouch. So, yeah, I really, am a big fan of this matchup. Looking forward to it. 8 finishes and 9 wins for Jillian. So, to better to go to a decision just doesn't seem the route at all. And I can tell you that from a particular source I've heard, she really likes the matchup. So whatever that means, she's, I've heard before other things, but plus,
bro, be confident. She's winning, bro.
Oh, I am. Trust me.
Let's go.
There ain't no shigging. Plus,
take that for what it is, man. It means she's gonna win.
Yep, exactly. I've heard her go into fights not confident before. Trust me, I've heard it all. So like, and
respect.
Yeah, I met her after the UFC in Boston where she faced Macy Barber. And I remember the first thing I said was, I bet Macy Barber. It's literally the first thing I said to her. And she was super cool about it, laughed about it, was like, I don't really blame you. She beat my ass. Like, it was an early stoppage, but she beat my ass. And then, yeah, Molly McCann was down there. Shout out. That was a great night. Got to meet Darren Stewart, Jimmy Crute, all those people, Dom Reyes. That was a good time back at UFC Boston, where last time I went to UFC Boston, quick little rant, and then I'll move on to the next fight. Last time I went to UFC Boston, I had lower deck tickets for $180 a piece. Just went on Ticketmaster today to look at the next UFC Boston show. $500 for upper deck. I can't do that when they're switching around cards the way they are. But,
damn.
Yeah, all 3 of us are on Jillian, and I think that I'm okay with that. Plus 110, as I said. I don't understand how she's the underdog in this spot.
And dude, I will vouch for you keeping it real with Jillian. Like, you've been telling me that in DMs for like a while now. So that's not something you're just like blowing up people's asses for the show. Like, no, you keep it real with Jillian, like when you honestly think she's gonna win and when she's not. So I will I can vouch for that.
Yeah, and I wish that she looked like an absolute dog so that people would stop accusing me of simping for picking her. Like, I'm sorry that she's attractive. But like, I also am able to put that aside. That's why I don't want to be lumped in with.
She's legit, bro. She's legit.
Yeah, and she's a good person. Well, I'll have her on next week, regardless of the result. So we'll have her talk about it. Maybe we'll talk about UFC Boston.
Dude, and she smokes weed, which is tight too.
Yep, weed is tight. So this next fight, Matuis Rebecki versus Loik Radzhabov. I never say his name right. I'll be honest, man. I watched the last 6 fights of each of these guys. There is a mirror break. There's mirror fights, and then there's this fight right here. Chico's barking at a dog next door. Chico! This is just a fight where I'm going to steal a line from Moise audio because he kind of mentioned this also. Moise said, whoever has the straighter shots is going to win this fight. Both these guys just throw loopy ass fucking strikes though. So like, it's honestly just a fight to me that I really don't know what to think here. I think that Rebecki definitely had his stock lowered against Fiora a little bit too much though. I've gone back and watched that fight. Like, goddamn, people talk like he did not know what he was doing in the fight. He just came to a minus 750 against a guy he wasn't training for, and he just didn't look great in the fight. I think that he's much more comfortable against the Loik Radzhabovs of the world. Radzhabovs. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say his name correctly. I never will. This is not the name pronunciation channel. I think that this is going to be a good fight. I think it's going to be very close. I think that Rebecki is able to use the wrestling better in this spot and get him down. I think that it's going to most likely go to the decision. Could be another split candidate, honestly, because these guys fight so similarly. I think they're going to throw pretty similar. I think Rebecki is able to mix it up a little bit more here. I like that he is younger as well by a couple of years. I think Loik has a lot of miles on the tires as well. Some of these fights are pretty drag out fights over with the PFL. And he lets his kind of opponents stick to their game plan a little too much. I got Matthias, but I get if you're on Loik's side, this is a who the fuck knows fight for me. 2 cents.
I
Or what is it? Better? Is it you this time? I'm sorry.
I'd be better. I can't remember.
Better. Good.
All right, I'll go. I think there is a little bit of overreaction on the Rebecca side because we saw him last time out against Nick Fiore, who absolutely looked awful against Chase Hooper. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was the fight where he had the interview at the end and he could barely like breathe, right?
Right. So everybody.
So that's what everyone was looking at. That looks awful on his part. And now, that's adding into a little bit to the line. But he's minus 155 here. That means somebody out there with some type of pockets respects him in this spot. Because if not, Lloyd could be the favorite.
Yeah.
Only issue I have with that is I think it might be a little bit of a like superstition type thing. Maybe not. Maybe there's something to this. But I saw an interview with Dana White a couple weeks ago about Tajikistan. Tajik Tank, this guy, Loic Radzhabov, however the fuck you say his name, Loic. Sounds like a Yiddish derogatory term, you fucking Loic. What the fuck? So you got Loic Radzhabov over here, and he's from Tajikistan. Not many guys from Tajikistan. And if you saw Dana White, it was like, when the cash signs hit the eye?
Yeah.
That's what it was like, man. And then that dude Muhammad knocked out Jamie Malarkey. Great win right there.
Yeah.
And he obviously likes the Tajikistan market. So take that for what it's worth. I don't like either side in this spot. Just haven't seen enough from Rebecca in the UFC level.
Yep.
And not sure really what I'm getting with Loic Radzhabov. And I need to know what I get on both sides because Rebecca could be not a world beater, but it could be a lot better than what we thought based off the last fight. So I'm going to wait and see what we're getting because Rebecca, I believe, is still he's got one loss, correct?
Yeah. Yes, one loss.
One loss. So we got to see what we're getting with him. And I'm going to pass on this fight completely. If anything, I'll go with the over.
Respect that. 2 cents. Were you able to figure out these two Eastern Europeans?
Oh man, I got all the answers, boys. Just listen to me. No, I agree with what JB said. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna wait and see. I was really wanting to parlay Rebecca. What I'm actually worried about in this fight is the grappling, because they do have similar styles in that they will strike and grapple. Rebecca is a little bit more seems to be a little bit more jiu-jitsu heavy, and Radzhabov or Radzhabov, however the fuck you pronounce that. I think he's a little bit more sambo heavy. The striking though, this is the one difference that I saw, and they are very similar in their style of striking, but this was the one difference I saw, and this is why I'm still picking Rebecca and why I'm tempted to parlay him. When they strike, Radzhabov is striking to set up his takedowns. Mattausch is striking to knock your head to fucking Mars. So I think Rebecca is going to knock him out. I was watching the tape. Loic, I don't like his striking defense. And Rebecca will chuck bricks for 15 minutes. I think he's going to haul off and starch this dude. So yeah, I got Rebecca by knockout. I'm tempted. I might just stay away, but give me Rebecca.
That was the greatest fucking read you had all day.
Dude, he has one or two. That's why I bring him on for the one or two he's good.
I got some. Yeah,
and then the rest you're just all right.
Forget about all the rest of my bullshit and just remember the good shit, boys.
Yeah, that was his one. He might lose connection. Dude, I'm telling you, 2 cents is fucking brilliant, man. You got to listen to him because obviously when you hear him, it's just I don't know.
Brilliant is overdoing it. I got my moments. I'll say that.
I'm proud. Jewish Bettor, I love having you here, man. You completely welcome back anytime. You have Elijah's seat anytime you want it. All right.
Matzo.
Yeah. I wish I had more Jewish references, but I grew up in a very Gentile area where I was.
God, I don't even go. I'm fake Jew.
Me too. I know.
Let's go.
I know. Trust me, you wouldn't be here if you were a real one. All right. Randy Brown and Wellington Turman making his 170 debut here. Man, this whole card, we keep saying, I don't know. Who the fuck knows? We have Wellington Turman making the trip down to 170. He's still only 26 years old. He's probably got more acne than ever for this fight. Training in Brazil, Connecticut with the Teixeira people. So good camp. Coming off of who did he lose to? Petrosky up at 185. he had come off of 2 wins, got the submission over Misha. He's got good jiu-jitsu. His stand-up is what it is. He's going to split decisions with Sam Alvey. Randy Brown just kind of showed a bit of a level decrease in the last fight with Jack Della. Got just absolutely outclassed in the 2 minutes, got submitted, then went over to grappling, got triangled over there. I think he's trying to develop the grappling more and more because that is kind of what has given him trouble. Just overall, like with Randy Brown, I don't want to trust him at the price he's at. I think that Wellington Turman is the type of guy who he makes look really, really bad. So it's probably Randy Brown, and probably as a result of cutting down the weight, he's probably gonna have no chin. So I'll say Randy Brown gets KO here in this spot. Turman seems like sub or bust, but he's pretty, very bad. So 2 cents. Do you have another winning read here?
Oh my God. No, fucking pass like a mug. Like, I don't know, man. This is weird because Wellington's coming down, but like he's still smaller than Randy Brown. Like he's still 2 inches shorter. He's still gonna give up like 6 inches in reach. Man, dude, I'm the worst person to ask on this one because I have backed Wellington Turman so many times when I shouldn't have, and like feel like I've just gotten away when I do back him. I'm picking Randy Brown, but I don't know, man. I just think I don't like the extra weight cut on a dude that doesn't have a great chin anyway. Randy Brown's not the worst striker in the world. He has knocked some people out, but I'm not laying that fucking
minus 225.
No, thank you. No, sir. Yeah,
that makes me a sad panda.
I'm gonna pick Randy Brown and stay far the fuck away.
Yeah, Randy Brown for us. Jewish Bettor. What are your thoughts on the Wellington Turman, the welterweight Turman Express?
I mean, he's still young, and this experiment could go well. I know we said that, the chin could be a little bit worse, but when was the last time he was knocked out?
It's been a while. Let's see. It was against. What was it? Was it
Bruno Silva?
Yeah, it was Bruno Silva.
Click. Let me see. It was Bruno Silva, right?
Bruno Silva, ground and pound, round 1.
Yeah,
He got knocked out by Andrew Sanchez.
I think that's the one that worries everybody, but it's been a little bit, man. He's got the win over Sam Alvey. I know, Sam Alvey, not the best power puncher, but that's still a fight that he was in there. Fight versus Misha Serkinov, off his back, gets the arm bar, gets out grappled by Petrosky. I think Petrosky's legit black belt, good grappler himself. If we look at the Randy Brown fight, the fight versus Francisco Trinaldo, I believe he knew he was winning that fight, but in the 3rd round, tempted just the whole time is just playing off of his back, doesn't attempt to get back to the feet. That just worries me a little bit versus Turman, but Turman's wrestling doesn't really even impress me. You've seen fights where he's went 0 for 10 on takedowns. His record and resume all over is just absolutely not really that good in general. His wins aren't good. His losses aren't good. I think Serkinov was beating him until he got that arm bar, and then he lost versus Petrosky. I think, like you said, grappling is maybe the one area that he could get the job done in, but losing grappling matches for Randy Brown I don't think is a big deal. I think that's showing that you're trying to get better, trying to experiment with yourself. His striking's slick. I think this is one of those spots where you just don't overthink it. At first, I was trying to figure out a way to back Turman in this spot because I think Randy Brown will be a popular parlay piece, but sometimes you can't go too contrarian. I think at the end of the day, he's the slicker striker, fought the better level of competition, and should be able to get the job done versus Turman here, regardless of price tag.
Yeah, minus 225 plus 190.
That's where it should be.
Yeah, don't disagree. So we're all on Randy here. Randy at decision plus 260. That's not terrible at all. But yeah, should be a good one. That is the second from the top on the prelims. Featured prelim is Neil Magny and Phil Rowe. Probably going to be going off around like 3:30 Eastern because this card does start at like 11:30 in the morning. So interesting fight here. Seen a lot of people on Philip Rowe as a dog this week. And I went back and watched Phil Rowe's fights, and I'm just like, he's exciting. He's very exciting, but I don't think he's ready for the level of a Neil Magny here. I kind of thought that before I went and watched the tape, after kind of just recalling how I had remembered Phil Rowe doing. But yeah, it's just a level of competition that I'm not really going to trust here. I think he's taking a huge step up here. But the time is now. He's 33 years old. He's obviously tested himself in the grappling realm as well, which I don't mind seeing, even if he's getting losses there. It's showing that he definitely is trying to develop really good, slick striker. Four of his wins with the UFC coming by knockout. Leon Shabazian's not great. Orion Koski, really bad, we found out. Jason Witt got him down over and over again. That's what Jason Witt does. And then Jason Witt gassed out and he chinned him, so good on him. But Jason Witt was pretty much winning that fight for the most part until that point. And then the Nico Price fight, another fight he was losing pretty significantly until Nico priced it. So, yeah, for me, I really do think that Neil Magny just knows how to win these types of fights. I think he's going to frustrate Phil Rowe. I think he's going to clinch up Phil Rowe. He's going to Neil Magny Phil Rowe, and he's going to get it like his 17th decision in the UFC. I'm being square here, but I just don't see Neil Magny. I don't see what Phil Rowe's going to present with Neil Magny that he hasn't seen here. If I were Phil Rowe, I would try to exploit the grappling and try to submit him, because I do think that Neil has been overwhelmed there before. And I think Phil Rowe's the biggest fan of Phil Rowe's grappling. So I could see him going that route, and that could be his best route. But if he's trying to stick on the feet, I think that Neil Magny's going to just kind of outvet him to a decision. What do you think, Jewish Bettor?
I actually got to go against you here, man. I think Philip Rowe's a lot better than people give him credit for. The thing with Nico Price is he'll just keep coming forward, man. Eventually he just didn't land there, and he was missing so many shots that he gassed out in the third round, and Philip Rowe was able to find that finish. But Philip Rowe was able to find the finish in a lot of these fights, regardless of level of competition. I know he's supposed to get the job done versus these guys, but I think he could get it done a lot quicker if they weren't wrestling him. I don't trust Neil Magny to necessarily wrestle in here, and if this is just a technical striking battle on the outside, I actually think this is an even fight here, and I think the line should probably be Neil Magny a little bit higher due to the level of competition he's fought and the narrative on Phil Rowe. The line hasn't moved yet, and that just sketches me out in general. I got to go with Phil Rowe here, because even if I get a better price on him, I don't think we're gonna. I think this line's gonna sit right where it's at. People are gonna put their money in on Neil Magny. What are the books trying to tell you here? I think Fusion XL, good gym. Phil Rowe's coming out of, still a young fighter.
One guy's training with Dumas this camp as well.
Exactly. His grappling is getting better, and that's where I think Neil Magny would have to have the edge here. Neil Magny 4 years ago absolutely washes this guy. He's 35 now. We know that's the age. He's getting older. He's slowing down. I understand the Magny love here at this price, but it just sketches me out, man. I'm going to take a shot on Phil Rowe for 0.7 units, and I'm going to take 0.3 units and put it on Phil Rowe by knockout at plus 400, because I think he could chin Magny. We've seen him drop by Max Griffin. I actually thought Max Griffin won that fight, and if you count that as a loss, I think this is a lot different here. I understand Magny has fought the better competition, but it's a big step up for Phil Rowe. I think he's going to be ready for this one. He knows this fight probably gets him into the top 15 in his home state of Florida. I'm going to go with the Fresh Prince here, go with Phil Rowe as a dog.
Respect. Zach blowing up the chat here is on Phil Rowe. So if Phil Rowe wins, we'll hear about it for the next 6 months. Just my 2 cents. What's your thoughts on this fight?
Well, I will say this first and foremost. I am on Neil Magny. I am I'm almost worried how confident I am in Magny. So I'll agree, although I'm on the other side as JB, I'll agree that I'm getting a little sketched out by the line, because it's like I feel like I'm getting a gift. I also feel like I might be falling into a trap, but
be careful, man. I think Magny is a trap. I could be wrong at the end of the week, but I mean,
it's not. I'll tell you what, for someone that I still think he wins. I'm still on Magny. I'll tell you why, but Yeah, I'm a little. I do think it should be a little wider based on the experience. I'll make the case for Magny and real quick, and then yeah, I don't know. It's a little weird though. So this is why I think Magny wins. Phil Rowe, I agree that it's pretty even on the feet. It'll be Magny's teep kicks and his jab, versus Phil Rowe's jab and his boxing. I think that Magny has he has more experience and he has more attacks, a more variety of attacks on the feet. But it's the grappling where I do think, although Rowe is improving, I do think he has underrated jiu-jitsu. I think he's a brown belt. I think Magny's a better wrestler. So it's like Jewish Bettor was alluding to a little bit. I'm a little bit worried how Magny's going to approach this. I think if he wrestles heavy, I mean, dude, if Kosi is taking you down like that, if fucking Witt is, Magny's a better he's a fucking good wrestler. Like, he's going to get him down.
I think Witt and Koski are actually better wrestlers than people give them credit for. Their cardio is just
I agree with that.
what fails them.
They're definitely good wrestlers. I know Magny doesn't have a problem with cardio. I know he's a good wrestler.
Exactly.
I don't if Magny's going to strike on the feet for 3 rounds, that sketches me out a little bit. But I do think overall Magny's the better fighter. And it's weird because Phil Rowe ain't no spring chicken. Like, Phil Rowe's about to turn 33 in like less than a month. So like, they're less than 3 years apart. I don't think Magny is completely washed here, but I'm a little sketched out about it. I got to bet on Magny though. He's the other half of the Tatsuro Taira parlay. I'm worried that one of them is going to bust it, but yeah, I like Magny to get it done.
Last thing I want to say, I actually really like the Fusion XL guys. I know some people out there maybe a little biased, but I actually think they're legit. And on top of that, Trey Waters was a guy who just fought out of there recently. A lot of guys were on Josh Kinlan. Trey Waters came out of there and really showed out. I think they're
wrong on Trey. Yeah, I've been wrong on Trey Waters his whole LFA career too. That dude is so hard for me.
And he's out of Florida, like I said, getting better.
Won't that Mike Perry too? Didn't he fight out of that?
Right. I think his takedown defense is actually legitimate as well. He does the right things, especially up against the fence.
Okay.
Maybe gets taken down sometimes, but I think, like I said, Witt and the other guy, what's his name? Koski are legitimate wrestlers. Yep. Their cardio just fails them as the fight goes on.
Magny's going to need to stay on top though, because like Rowe is pretty wriggly when he's on the bottom, and he doesn't really. Sometimes he'll sit there, but sometimes he gets to a hit pretty quickly. So I'm counting on Neal to stay heavy on top. But it's an exciting fight. I'm not totally counting Rowe out, but yeah, it should be going.
It's a really good fight. I also am on Magny, and Magny is part of the Zhongli. I'm not going to lie. So. Should be an interesting fight there. On to the main card. Really good fight to start the main card. Ideally, you would think it'd be Brendan Allen, the grappler, versus Bruno Silva, the striker. We have seen that Brendan Allen tends to get into wars at times. This is another fight to me that it's, this is a dog to me that I've been on all week. I like Bruno Silva in this spot. I know that at times his cycle seems a little bit off. We don't see the same Bruno Silva all the time. Last time out against Brad Tavares, I really liked how he wasn't rushing the offense either. He looked really paced, really composed, and looks like he has removed some of the muscle to be able to start working on the cardio somewhat while still having the pop and using so many of his weapons so well. I think the knees could be very live for Bruno in this spot to the body. And as Brendan Allen goes in on the takedowns, I do think Brendan Allen's willing to stand and trade at times. I think this is a tough matchup for Brendan Allen, man. This is the type of guy who I think can crack him. I think that it could happen very early. I think as the fight goes on, I could see Brendan Allen getting into more of a groove, but I also could see him kind of just, giving into the instincts that have resulted in a lot of the losses. His body's susceptible to damage as well. Bruno goes to the body a lot, like I said, with the knees. I think that Brendan Allen gets knocked out here by Bruno Silva. I really do. But I think it's a great matchup. I think that Brendan Allen needs to go with the wrestling, go to the grappling, though. I don't think you need to stand with a guy like Silva. But I think Silva cracks him and puts him away. 2 cents. Where do you lay on this one?
Damn it, man. I feel the exact same fucking way. I was on Brendan Allen a little earlier this week, but dude, the more I went back and taped and the more I just like looked at these guys, man, look, Allen gets cracked on a lot for his fight IQ, but I'm going to go a little contrarian. Maybe not contrarian, but I don't think it's actually his fight IQ. I think what Brendan Allen's problem is sometimes in fights is his ego. And you look at who it's against. Chris Curtis, Sean Strickland, these big tough guys. He likes to go in there and be a big tough guy. And what is Bruno Silva? He's a fucking big tough guy.
With hair now.
Dude,
Bruno with hair is a different beast.
I think Brendan Allen is underrated as a fighter, and especially as a grappler. And I picked and bet Brendan Allen recently to success. But you look at the guys on this win streak, they're these grapplers or well-rounded fighters. Bruno Silva is a bruiser and a brawler. But like you said, he looks at least with the Tavares fight, which is a decent, like Tavares is a pretty decent striker. It looked like he was more patient, counter-striking well. That is how Brendan Allen gets hurt. And I actually think Allen's like initial success potentially in the striking is what could be his undoing, because that's kind of what happened against Curtis. He was doing okay against.
Well, that's how Bruno caught Brad in that fight.
I'm telling you, he gets comfortable on the feet. He's like, oh, I'm getting the better of this dude. Like,
I like it.
Tries to go in there and have a dick swinging contest, and that ain't going to work with Bruno Silva. I do like Bruno Silva the more I think about it. But I do think Allen is a good fighter, and he could squeak. I mean, he did it against Puna, but man, Silva's just more dangerous to me. So give me Silva for the knockout.
Yeah, man, I like it. Jewish Bettor, what's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, Silva's definitely more dangerous, man, and I think I see why you would go with the dog shot on Silva here. Guy can knock anybody out, and Allen has tended to get into firefights with guys when he shouldn't, just like you said. On the other hand, I think grappling wise, Allen has the advantage here. Clearly, he is the black belt. Bruno Silva also a black belt. But yeah, like we were saying, man, this dude Bruno Silva was going 3 rounds with Alex Pereira. He didn't win that fight, but man, he showed some decent striking in that fight, to say the least. Mm-hmm. And I think he could find the chin of Allen here. I'm worried that if Allen gets this fight to the ground early while it's dry, he could get the submission. I want to see how round 1 goes as well, because we've seen these performances from Bruno Silva, like versus Gerald Meerschaert, and I think Allen's a better grappler than Meerschaert. So after 1 win, I don't want to just hop back on the Bruno Silva train. Tough one here. Tough. I'm gonna go if fight doesn't go the distance. I think Brendan Allen sub or Bruno Silva is going to get him out of there. And if it's a sub, it's going to be a rear naked choke. He takes the back of Bruno Silva, swings wide or something, overextends, because he does do that sometimes. Going to come in with the clinch takedown, get him to the ground. And I think once he gets into the ground, he's going to have the advantage there. So give me Brendan Allen. I'm going to go with the grappling over the striking. But he's liable to get knocked out by Bruno Silva.
Yep, minus 180 on Brendan, plus 155 on Mr. Silva.
Tempting. It's tempting. I understand it.
Yeah, tempting. Next fight. This is a banger of a fight. David Onama taking on Gabriel Santos here. And this is one that I'm kind of nervous at because I really do like Gabriel Santos a lot. I really like his game. I liked him since the LFA days. The way that he took out a guy like Jose Delano, Jose Delano was on an absolute roll when he came into that fight with Gabriel Santos. Gabriel Santos had taken some time off, and it seems like a lot of these Brazilians who take a year or 2 off in their MMA career, they come back so much sharper, stronger, faster. And Gabriel Santos is another example of that. Absolutely broke the pressure of Delano, put him away really well. Came into that fight with Lerone Murphy. I personally think he won the fight. It was a very close fight at that, regardless. And I think that the UFC is essentially, giving Gabriel Santos, I think, a really winnable and potentially entertaining fight here against Onama. With me, I like Gabriel Santos's just overall Muay Thai in this spot. I think he's got the ability to put Onama away pretty early on in this one. And for me with Onama, I just think he's got to, crowd Gabriel early, get the wrestling going, and I just don't see him be able to sustain the game plan to break someone like Santos. I'll be right back. I got to grab my charger, but go ahead, Jewish Bettor. I'll be right back.
Yeah, man, I got you, dude. Hold the fort down. Let's go. I agree with everything this dude just said, man. I like Gabriel Santos here. I think you guys should probably throw him in a parlay this week if you're betting for, entertainment. Thing is, the value, I believe, is all gone on Gabriel Santos at this point, man. He came in earlier, way less of a favorite, got bet up to this minus 220 range. And Onama, the one thing I will say about him, he does have power. He does hold power early on, especially in round one. Almost finished Nate Landwehr, but then death gassed. Still fought to the end of that fight, though, although Nate Landwehr, I feel like, gave him a lot of chances and kept him in that fight, especially getting him up, letting him up off the ground in bottom position. Like I said, I do like Santos here, but the line, I think, at this point is gone. If you're like I said, if you're betting for entertainment, I would throw him in a parlay because I just think he's overall the better fighter. We saw him. I think he's the goods. We saw it in the fight with Leon Murphy. And eventually, I think Landwehr could have finished. A better fighter would have finished Onama. But I'm looking to live bet this one maybe after round one if I get a better number on Santos. Because I think Onama's live to keep this round one close. I think eventually he's just going to tire out, though, and that's when Santos is really going to pick it up. Santos, round 3 knockout here.
Ooh.
He gets the job done.
Love it. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm sad that everybody has saw what I've seen in Santos, and that number is clearly.
He's the goods, man. He's the goods.
He is the goods, and I'm telling you, Jose Delano. Not enough people know who he is because he's in the LFA, but Jose Delano will be in the UFC next year, I think. So, just my 2 cents. Are you on the Obama Onana train?
Yeah, so I'm going to be the dissenting voice here. I am, in fact, on David Onama. This is probably going to be my most passionate take on the show.
Boy.
Yeah, dude. I like David Onama. I think he's – let me just say this. Let me talk about the Gabriel Santos side first because, yes, I agree with most of what you guys said. I mean, in fact, all of it. Like, I do think he's a really good fighter. I do think he is a better overall fighter than Onama.
Let your nuts hang on Onama here, man. You called it. You got to be confident.
I'm about to. I'm just.
Let's go. I'm here.
Like, I do. It's not like I think Santos sucks. I think he's really good. He's beat some good fighters, like LFA fighters. They have good records. Some of them, like Elvis Brenner, have made it to the UFC. Mm-hmm. I get why people are so high on him. But I think he's being a little bit overhyped. And I'm going to take it one step further. You know who else is being a little bit overhyped? Lerone fucking Murphy. Name me one really fucking good Lerone Murphy win. Just one. Like, not like an okay win, like, not someone that you would make fun of for, like, Piotr Jan beating. Like, I'm talking about what's a really fucking good Lerone Murphy win.
The Sahir Tahuga.
Because in the UFC, he has beaten nothing but fucking frauds and jobbers. And I think, dude, I don't know, man. I watched Gabriel Santos get put in some really bad spots on that regional tape. He got fucking dropped by Marcio Barbosa bad.
What year was that?
Fucking, dude, he got flattened by that dude. Onama cracks. Dude, he got fucking full mounted by Elvis Brenner, was getting fucking smashed. Dude, I feel like all people are talking about is just the good, the good, the good. I think people are being a little too cute and a little too simple. Like, oh, he almost beat Lerone Murphy, or he did beat Lerone Murphy. And because of that, because I think Lerone Murphy's better than Onama, I just think it's a little too easy. I think Lerone Murphy's overrated. I think Gabriel Santos is overrated. I think David Onama is being disrespected by this line. I think people are overreacting. And, dude, I love it that all of a sudden people are sucking Nate Landwehr's dick to completion, and then all of a sudden he's a shitty loss because Onama loses to him. Now all of a sudden Nate
He almost finished Landwehr too early.
Dude, he low key, he hurt Nate Landwehr worse than fucking Dan Ige did. Like he got that dude hurt bad. And I'm telling you right now, if he puts those kind of hands on Santos, he's getting Santos up out of there, dude. I got David Onama, first round knockout. I already bet it. The money, I bet that money line plus 200. I think that's ridiculous. I think this is way closer to a 50-50. And I'll tell you what, people, you want to say, yeah, he gassed against Landwehr. Well, first of all, he did gas because he almost fucking knocked him out 3 times.
Do you think that's why, though? Are you 100% sure that's why, or does he just not have good cardio?
No, dude. Look in the 3rd round. Yes, I agree with your assessment.
He kept going. I agree.
They let him up, dude. With 8 seconds left, he drops Landwehr again. They didn't count for it.
Landwehr's not that guy. Gabriel Santos will go away Landwehr.
That's what I'm saying,
dude. Fair enough, but man, if these LFA dudes can have this dude in a world of trouble, and honestly, all right, let's talk about Santos and the Lerone Murphy fight. Because if you don't want to give Onama a pass for taking the Landwehr fight, which was on short notice, what about the 3rd round of that fight? Lerone Murphy was beating the shit out of him. Lerone Murphy was beating the shit out of that dude. And if that's Onama in the 3rd round, if Santos doesn't sub Onama, he's going to get knocked out. Onama hits too hard.
What about the Mason Jones?
Too quick. He's too quick. He has a 2.5, 3-inch reach advantage. He has Moyes. What do you say about the straighter punches? Onama's got the straighter punches. He's got a real nice jab. I think his jab's going to fuck Santos up. I think his 1-2 is going to fuck him up. I think he's going to knock him out. I got Onama. I bet it already. Plus 200. Let's fucking go.
I don't mind it. But I think Onama round 1 knockout is how he wins, in my opinion.
I agree. That's what I'm predicting as well.
Yeah. All right. Well,
let's go.
Good luck, man. A lot more interesting. I like Gabriel.
Best of luck to y'all too, man. This is I like Onama as a dog here, but I get the Santos side too. I like the Santos. Like, I don't hate the Santos side. I just think the odds are a little crazy, so I'll take a stab.
Fair enough.
Bet after round 1.
3rd from the top with Justin Tafa, Austin Lane. This is some heavyweight trash here. For me, Austin Lane has not shown that great of moments, even in his wins. Like, he has terrible moments against terrible levels of competition. This is the type of guy Justin Tafa knocks out. Justin Tafa by knockout. I didn't put a lot of time into this fight because I'm not going to put a lot of money into the fight, frankly. And it's just one of these fights where if you're on Austin Lane, you're right. Congratulations. I'll take Justin Tafa. He's younger, he's faster, better striker. Who cares? Justin, just my 2 cents.
This fight is gross. I don't like this fight. I think this is like very, very low level heavyweight
on ABC.
Dude, I'm gonna kick back and just watch because I feel like this is one of those fights where this is like people shouldn't be that passionate about this fight, but they are for some reason. And like someone's going to end up looking crazy, and I'm just going to sit back and watch it happen. So someone's going to get sparked here. Like, these are 2 big fucking boys, and they both swing hard. Austin Lane is like a swarmer. Like, he's the epitome of a swarmer. And Tafa's the better counterpuncher. I think Tafa sparks him. Tafa doesn't have, like, I don't know if I could say he's a glass jaw, but he doesn't have the best chin. There's a chance Lane could get him, but I think he probably like gets knocked out trying to. I'll take Tafa by knockout. Not one I'm super like. I don't have a super passionate take on, but I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what happens. It'll be fun as long as it lasts. It's greasy though. Fuck that. I'm not betting on that shit.
Yeah. JB.
Okay, guys. Austin Lane plus 150 is the pick. No, I'm just joking, bro. Please, just nobody out there fucking do that. Like, you're not smart trying to just be out on the island, bro. Both these guys suck. I'm actually going to go with the over Not the under. I think this fight goes over somehow. I think this is going to be a bullshit,
Oh, no.
sloppy heavyweight slugfest. I think the same shit could happen in the Peak fight. Everyone thinks it's going to be a knockout. I could see both them motherfuckers guessing. This shit looks like Dada 5000 versus Kimbo Slice.
Oh, God.
Great.
Lane by heart attack in round 3.
All right, you can't.
That's my
you
pick.
can't. That was really, we didn't need that technical of a breakdown, but fine. -175.
That's what I'm here for, my brother. That's what I'm here for.
Chill, bro. Chill. We get it. You went to school. God. My goodness. All right. Anyway, someone read Hebrew at their bar mitzvah.
I'm a Hebrew school dropout, bro.
Same. All right. -175 to Tafa, +150 to Justin or Austin Lane. I keep calling him Justin Lane. I don't know why. All right. Co-main event time. Amanda Hebas versus Macy Barber. Man, the end of this card, not really my favorite here. Macy Barber. Macy Barber, I think, is been pretty discounted at this point. So I get people taking the shot on the dog here because she's won 4 straight. I get it. Miranda Maverick, she lost that fight, but she's been punished for that fight for like 3 years now. So like, I get it. It was a close fight, but it wasn't like this blowout for Miranda Maverick where no one, like, I don't know. It was a close enough fight. Whatever. Macy Barber has gone on to win a couple decisions, close decision to Andrea Lee in her last fight. She's not really good at anything. That's the problem. She's just kind of good when she can bully her opponent and outpace them a little bit. But ever since she had the knee injury, it's, been a little bit of some questions coming back. The Alexa Grasso fight definitely showed, she's a step or two behind her opponents on the feet. Can't really take it to the takedowns. All right, Lorena Carrera, the commenter of all commenters every week. 2 cents jobber gets me anytime. Thank you for being here, Lorena. Big supporter of the channel. We appreciate you. But Amanda Hebas, she's a better grappler on the feet. I think it's close enough. But I don't really know what to think about Amanda Hebas. I don't have a real strong read on her. I thought that Marina Rodriguez had a very good shot in that fight. I was happy about that result, but I've had no read on her since that fight, if I'm being honest. I just don't really know what to think. I think she likes to get their fights to the ground and dominating the grappling. I think Macy Barber can be taken down, but I just don't really have a strong read in this fight. I guess I would go with Macy Barber if I'm betting the side here, just because I think that Hebas, I don't really trust her, and especially at this price. So if I had to take a bet, but yeah, so I'll go with Macy Barber by decision. But I think that Hebas could win a decision. I don't see either side with much of finishing equity in this fight for me. So, Bettor, what's your thoughts on this one? Do you have any maybe stronger views?
Yeah, man. If you if you got access to DraftKings here, man, I like +3.5 on the spread here for Macy Barber. It's a little bit juiced, but what this means is she only has to win 1 round out of the 3 on all the judges' scorecards, or it could be a 30-27 for her, 29-28, one way, whatever. But I think that's more than enough of an ask for her. This is going to be a close fight, maybe even a greasy split decision for the Hebas side. But if we get a 30-27 for Barber, some 29-28 the other way, I believe that's still a win on the +3.5. So either that or 29-28 for Hebas. We still get the win there. But the judges like giving this one to Barber, man. Every time it's a close split decision, even if she didn't even win the fight, it goes to Barber. You can't depend on that to happen every single time. But man, come on, this girl just gets the luckiest of luck on these decisions. So, but I'm in all seriousness, I think she's good enough to win 1 round. I put 2 units on the -175 for the +3.5. I think that's a good bet. Easy.
Right on. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And yeah, anytime you have any sort of bets like that, I haven't done as much of the spreads yet. So
dude, I got fucked last week on the Modestas Pagaka. I took they gave him 30-27, the one judge for Modestas.
Yeah. So that's why that's happening now. That's why that's happening now. that interest, because like that would, wow. Oh, just another fold into why judges make the decisions they do. That's terrible. But yeah, no, I'll definitely be picking your brain about those as we go, because I'm definitely interested in playing more of those, and maybe the Barber one will be the first one
Yeah,
I play.
any girl underdogs is usually where I'm looking at because I think they're able to win one of those rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Jillian Robertson maybe even a good one. If you don't see her getting finished, all she's got to do is win a round. So there you
I
go.
like it, man. I like it. That's good stuff. Appreciate that, JB. Just my 2 cents. Do you have a stronger view on this? This is just like a hard fight to talk about. I didn't realize.
Hell motherfucking no, dude. This fight is goddamn. JB said the magic words, dude. Greasy split. Boys, if this fight goes to the card, it is going to be the greasiest fucking split decision that has ever greased and or splitted. I want no part of this. No, thank you. I will go down with the David Onama ship if need be. I am not fucking putting my money on no Amanda, that goofy Amanda Hebus, or fucking Chun-Li Macy Barber. There's no way. I've flip-flopped on this one so much. Neither one are like super trustworthy. I do agree with Aaron that Macy Barber does kind of get a little overhated. Like, yeah, she's kind of annoying. She's way too cocky, but I don't think she's as bad of a fighter as some people try and make her out to be either. And I think this, like, yeah, they're simping for both of them, but dude, the Amanda Hebus simping, I've been guilty of it myself in the past before too, so I can't just totally, like, I'm being a little bit of a hypocrite, but dude, the simp love for her is something crazy. Like, I get it. She's not bad looking, but like, she's good too. Like, she looked really good in that Viviane fight. Yeah. But I just, against like, Macy's faster.
Araujo is also like 36 years old.
She's older. She's slower than Macy. Macy has better cardio. Like, Macy does, like, kind of look ridiculous in some fights. But there's a couple things that I do know about Macy. She has good cardio. She's fucking tough, and she hits hard, and she's a bully. Mm-hmm. And Amanda Hebus, like, she doesn't always like getting bullied, and she, like, I think this fight really comes down to how Amanda Hebus fights. I think if she gets the fight to the ground, which Macy has decent takedown defense, I think if she ends up on top of Macy Barber, she's probably gonna choke her. So that's why I'm staying away from it. Like, I'm really tempted on betting Macy Barber. I do think she's a live dog on the feet. Like, if Amanda Hebus decides, like I said, like I was saying about Allen, that she wants to be a fucking tough guy and fucking slug it out with Macy Barber, she's gonna get chin checked. Like, Amanda Hebus does not have a great chin. So yeah, if she tries to dogfight Macy, I think it's gonna hurt her. But yeah, I could see Amanda choking her too. So I'm gonna stay the fuck away. For the pick, God damn it, I don't even know.
You're picking Macy.
Coin flip, sure, Macy. That'll work.
You're picking Macy.
Sure, fine. Macy. I don't know. I don't even know yet.
Plus 165 on Macy Barber, minus 195 on Amanda Hebus here. And then shout out to Stash Mouth, Eddie Martinez, great photographer, MMA photographer. Check out Stash Mouth. Good dude.
Dude, this is going to be, if this goes to split, this is going to be the fight that everyone is bitching about on the timeline as they got robbed. Whoever comes out on the losing end of it.
Yep. Main event time. I don't think this one's going to a decision. 5 rounds between Josh Emmett and Illia Topueira for the featherweight title. Should be a really, really great fight. I love Josh Emmett, man. I've loved the run of him. I do think we're at the tail end of it now. He took so much damage in that Yair Rodriguez fight, man, before getting submitted by Yair Rodriguez, which is troublesome because he's now going against a guy in Illia Topueira that what would Illia probably do to Yair? Submit Yair. I think he's going to be able to have his way in the grappling with Josh Emmett. I don't think he should mess around with the striking. I'll be interested to see how he does approach it because Josh Emmett's extremely dangerous on the feet throughout the fight. He carries the power. He's extremely tough. I mean, I've watched that Shane Burgos fight like probably 10 times at this point. It is one of my favorite fights ever. I just think it's incredible what he goes through in that fight. And I mean, all the respect to him. I think that this quick turnaround is very unlike Josh Emmett. And I do not think it's smart for a 38-year-old fighter to be doing after taking the amount of damage he took in the striking before getting submitted. I think Illia can definitely KO Josh also. I just think he'd be smarter to stick to the grappling here. I do think that Josh might be a little bit tough to get down, which is my only kind of concern there. But I do think even on the feet, I still favor Illia in this spot. So Illia is the better, younger, more dangerous fighter, I think, in this spot here. And Emmett, I think, is compromised coming in here, so I wouldn't be surprised by the KO, but I'm going to take Illia by sub. I just think because that's the most clear route, but I would not be surprised if he checks Emmett. But either way, I like Illia in this spot. Obviously, the price sucks, but I do think he gets it done inside the distance. So, I like Illia. 2 cents. What's your thoughts on this main event?
Thought number one, sweet fight. I do like both of these fighters. I'm anxious to see what happens. Number two, I am passing like whoa. I am probably going to end up picking Illia Topueira. I do think Emmett is really live though, and I feel like this is like deja vu, like especially on this fight card. If Illia wants to be a big tough guy, he could get fucking starched. I think he's faster on the feet. I think he's better on the feet overall. But like Emmett is one of those guys that you can fucking tune him up, beat his ass, and then you make one mistake, and all of a sudden you're looking up at the lights. And Ilya got hurt really badly by Jai Herbert. I know he head kicked him, but like, I don't know, man. I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pick Ilya. I think, dude, if he does get the grappling going, though, I'll say that if he does get Emmett to the ground, who, like you said, he does have good takedown defense, but if he gets the fight to the ground, I think he's probably going to sub Josh Emmett. He's nasty with ground and pound. He could GMP TKO him as well. I think Illia Topueira is the side, but I'm not going to.
What about the quick turnaround with Emmett? You're not worried?
Yeah, dude, no shit. Dude, you said it, man. He took a fucking drubbing against Yair. Who Yair striking, like he was always a good striker, like a good flashy striker, but it's just gotten like more dangerous, like as the last couple of years have gone on. Like he looks so good against Max and Josh. And yeah, I think like Josh is a good fighter. He's got really good wins on his record. I just think it's a little bit of the age and like maybe a little bit like he's not, I wouldn't say he's slow, but he's going to be slower than Ilya. I think speed's probably going to kill here, but if I was in Ilya's corner, I would not be suggesting that he stand there in a phone booth with Josh Emmett because you're giving Nomak his path to victory. I like Orkbane. I'm gonna pick Illia Topueira, but I ain't gonna be holding no fucking. What is he sitting at right now? I ain't gonna be holding no fucking
minus 345.
I ain't gonna be holding no fucking minus 350 Illia Topueira ticket, waiting for my parlays to cash at the end of the night, and then Josh Emmett knocks him to fucking Neptune. Like, this ain't gonna be me. But yeah, give me Topueira.
All right, Jewish Bettor, round it out.
Yeah, I kind of give Topueira shit sometimes. But here's the thing with this fight, and I didn't talk about this in the Neil. I forgot to talk about this in the Neil Magny versus Philip Rowe fight. Both these guys are on the same size. The thing with Josh Herbert is he was so much longer than Topueira in that fight, and Jai Herbert is still a legitimate striker, regardless of his durability issues, which we saw later in the fight. Topueira does have finishing power, but Josh Emmett is kind of durable. Thing is, he did take a ton of damage in that last fight. And the thing we've heard about him constantly is injuries, right? This guy's been injured over the years, his long career, been in tons of wars, tons of like knee problems, leg problems. I actually think Topueira is one of the better favorites on this card. He has the grappling advantage, and his striking is clean. I think, like you said, he has the straighter shots. He has power as well, and he could get this fight to the ground the later it goes. I do think that Josh Emmett is a big step up, and maybe the line could be a little bit wide, but Topueira hasn't lost yet. He hasn't given me a reason to go against him. This is a 5-round fight. Not favored. I think the line's sitting at 2.5, so it's not favored to go the distance. Give me Topueira by sub or KO TKO. I think he gets Josh Emmett out of here, and we see a few more fights from Josh Emmett where he maybe gets finished by some up-and-comers. UFC gets him on out of there, and Topueira may be the first one of them. You got to beat the pattern early before it happens, and let's do that by Topueira.
Yes, sir. I like it. Really quick, before we sign off, I've got to give my Zhang Li parlay. That is the 5-fight money line parlay that I give out every week in honor of commenter Zhang Li, legend of the community. Zhang Li has made me so much money as a result of this parlay. It does not hit every week, and nor does it. This week's is not plus 4,000. This week's is plus 1277 though, and it includes Topueira. I just go straight money lines. There's no an inside distance or anything. It's just straight money lines. I throw out. So it's Topueira. We've got Jillian Robertson, obviously, in there. If you didn't know she was going to be in there, you're not paying attention. Bruno Silva, Gabriel Santos, and Illia Topueira is rounding out the Zhang Li parlay for almost plus 1,300. Put $10 on it. Put 20 on it and call it a day if you want to join me on the parlay. But regardless, really appreciate the Jewish Bettor making his first of hopefully many appearances here on the program. You're always welcome, man. I really appreciated your thoughts and your knowledge. Any parting words before we sign off for the people?
Nah, Zen Monkey, I agree with you, man. Josh Emmett's knees are just shot, and I think, like I said, that's one of the easier ones on the card. I understand how it could be a tough decision for many, and maybe my confidence may not be the same as everybody else, but I really think Topueira, maybe not like the highest level, but I don't think now's the time to fade him, regardless of the price. 5-round fight, I think he gets it done.
Yeah, I agree. Appreciate it, Justin. And just my 2 cents. Appreciate you, brother, every week here. Always bringing it. You had 2 or 3 good breakdowns along the way as well. So thanks for
Hell
those.
yeah.
What you got coming up the rest of the week, my friend?
Well, first of all, as always, thank you very much for having me on what I always say is one of the highlights of my week, because I truly mean that. So thank you. Jewish Bettor, dude, it was a pleasure. Hope this isn't the last time we get to stream together. Best of luck to you this weekend. Shout out to everyone in the chat, man. Make sure y'all smash the like button for Aaron, giving you all this good content. So for me, I got on Friday, I will be doing the weigh-in show. Because it's ceremonial, I'll probably do like a ceremonial weigh-in, like pregame, and then cover the stare downs and shit. But yeah, man, for as far as like, I'm going really light on this card. I have, other than the Zhang Li, which I always put at least a farthing or two on for the culture. And I like this week's Zhang Li because it gives me a chance to hedge on my Onama bet. So yeah, I got Onama money line. My parlay is Topueira and Neil Magny, which I got for plus money. So yes, Santos is a lock, and Clayton Rodriguez pulls out.
Yeah.
And Rowe, just lock it in. But nah, seriously, man, thank you very much, JB. Good shit, and best of luck, everyone. Peace, boys.
I appreciate both guys' thoughts today. I think that I feel a lot better on my reads. It's always why I like to talk with other people on the show here. And Jewish Bettor definitely does his homework. That's why I always appreciate about people who come on this show is they show up ready to show out, and I appreciate that. But just one more thing, just my 2 cents. If you get Cage Warriors prospect last week correct, and now the LFA prospect correct as being busts, I'm going to be real upset. So like I'm not going to be able to make it. So I need
2023 has been so up and down for me. I don't know if you should worry just yet.
Yeah, man. But appreciate you guys and all everything. There's a great show today, and we'll see you guys soon. I'll be back tomorrow with the LFA 161 breakdown, or I might go live later today. Just turn on the notifications. It'll be there. Peace.
Oy vey, baby. Let's get these fucking shekels.
L'chaim.